I don't know. If you force every country in the world into your organization and then establish world peace with that, then it might have been worthwhile.
Not really.
Yeah. The
It
ends
won't
justify
work.
the means. You can't say it won't
It
work.
don't.
You literally don't know. Also, couldn't tell if that was a guy's helmet or hair. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Gundam Wing. We come back with a board, and we come back with notes, and for some reason I always say the thing that we're going to do first, which puts it behind the next thing. We got a board.
You got a board, indeed.
With the board comes the board changelog, where I added Alex and Mueller, connected them with a white line to Noin and a red line to Zex. I added Misser and connected them with a green line to Zex and a white line to Mueller. And then I marked Alex and Mueller as dead.
They should be. The bastards. I have a note about that, by the way. But now that I think about it, I should have added another note about Noin and these two, and something that Sex says at the very end of the show, at the episode. Well, not of the episode. It's very end of his part of the episode, which is like 2/3 of the episode. And then, whatever Draw was doing at the end.
I know what you're talking about, but I mean, I don't think you needed to make a note about it, because, one, as we've already covered before, the show's not subtle. Zex said the thing, and his thing was on point, so all you would really be doing is calling attention to the thing he said.
It's all...
I'm making fun, but at the same time, every note you're going to hear from me later is literally the same level, yeah. I apologize ahead of time. My notes are shit this time. There's no insight at all. I'm just like, hey, remember when he said that thing?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to call Wing shallow.
Why? We've done so every episode.
Yeah. I mean, the concepts that tackle, which are not new to Gundam as a series or anime in general, are interesting enough, but it's like, this thing? It's what's happening. And I'm going to tell you about it.
Literally the last episode where I brought up the element of maybe it's not actually shallow, maybe there's more depth actually there than we realize, because it's hiding its depth in shadow. In the shallow parts. I said that last episode because there was a meta level to at least one thing that we were talking about, where the possibility exists that might be happening all over the place and we don't recognize it because the visual of what's happening, or the conversation of what's happening, is so surface level. But the idea being that this might be a house made of paper, the surface level is poke a hole in it, and oh my god, there's so much stuff behind this wall.
Yeah, Shawshank style, yeah.
Alright, well, to notes then, and not only do I have a bunch of shit ones, you have more still somehow, so you go first.
Mind you, I'm not saying that my notes have any quality, just, reflect what I came to mind. And I sort of mentioned this in the original episode, but I'm going to expand the note. Episode 13, Catherine Tears. Funny how those missiles look like something out of 1950s or even 1960s. Like the old Soviet era SA-75 Divina, NATO codename SA-2 Guideline, or the American Nike Hercules. I guess in the far future of after Colony 195, all Soviet missiles are still viable. And I will send you a picture of what I'm talking about. Those are the missiles that got fired at Sex when they was doing the test, yeah.
To be fair, they don't look that different from modern missiles right now.
Well, the missiles are changed quite a bit.
No, I mean, a lot of the ones just get their internals changed. The externals tend to remain the same. Not even changed, they get updated.
True, but that form factor, at least in surface-to-air missiles, has changed quite a bit, because now modern missiles are designed to be sleeker and be put in launch vehicles.
You're talking about new missile frames. I'm talking about existing payloads that have just been updated as time goes by.
I mean, this system is still being used, so it's not like...
I might also be an element that I think I'm talking about more like ICBMs and whatnot. ICBMs don't tend to get changed a lot. They get updated. I'm not really talking surface to air.
which is the missiles that they're doing
I
the
know.
test with.
I
So,
understand. I'm just saying that where my reference comes from. Because not only that, I'm also buying you time to post the picture you just posted, which is just adding work to me now, I guess.
I have more pictures. Well, I have one other picture. So to your first note, I guess.
Nothing's wrong with acting on your emotions. At least that's what I was taught. Hiro Yui, the least emotive person I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is that Hero's still on his journey to be more human, I guess. And Troa is just like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll try that halfway through because, as you have said, Troa is Hero 0.5.
I mean,
Right?
I'll also point out that this is actually something that's said in the flashback to last episode that this episode starts with. But it's also, the point of the episode by the end.
Yeah. Which is, again, I said this a lot and you kind of disagree with me. It's that this episode is weird because essentially these two episodes matched together. Like, Troa's thing should have been its own episode. And what Sex was doing should have been its own episode. It's like, I guess we don't have enough material, so it's just like,
I mean, I still disagree with you. The point is that this is an ensemble piece, so every episode is a combination of two different character stories. No episode has been all one character.
I mean, you can have the main character of the episode and supporting characters. So
They do.
Yeah, like
Zex was 2/3 of the episode. Troa was the back third of the episode. They do that every episode. You remember the episode where Relina goes to the party? That was her 1/3 of the episode.
Yeah, but it's kind of tied into what they're okay.
They're all tied
the
together. They're all in a worldwide narrative.
Yeah, no. But I'm talking about literally sharing the same space because while Relina was in the party, no, wait a minute. You're talking about the different party. I'm talking about an earlier.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one where Lady Un gets shot near the chest with a gun.
And yet later on, Noin shows up to save her. So that's kind of tied to that. So
it's not though, because Noin shows up in that episode at the very end, exactly at the very end. It's not it's not Relina's 1/3 of the episode and I can call Lady Un and Noin's 0.01% of the episode.
But it still felt like it was the same episode.
Here, it was the same episode.
Literally.
I'm talking about the Noin. You keep bringing Noin in as though that has anything to do with anything. That's Noin's thing is happening off screen somewhere. Literally, last episode, we referred to the fact that Noin is in Moscow, which is where the Relina party was happening. So we just keep referring to that Noin is off screen somewhere doing her own goddamn thing. The Noin element of that episode has nothing to do with nothing when it comes to who's getting the screen time.
Yeah, but to me, I think that these were basically two different episodes because this could have
been a complete. From your love of Durarara, you're not a big fan. You're not a big fan. You're not a big fan of ensemble pieces. You want specific characters that you can follow and definitely know what's happening.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, well, I don't like the sort of choppy way they do it. That's the part.
I'm not inviting you to shit on Durarara right now. I'm saying that we can use that as an example to see what you do like and what you don't like. Like, I would argue that Fate Zero is also a bit of an ensemble, but ultimately, every group of two is its own combined thing. When you see Waver, you're probably getting Iskander. So those two share their time on screen. So at worst, it's 5 or 6 different groups of ensemble, which is a lot less than the Durarara count. So even in an ensemble of that size, it's less so of an ensemble still.
Here's the thing. In Fate, for example, there's a unified aspect to it, and the unified aspect is they're all working. In the last episode we saw, which will eventually be up and make it to YouTube. I don't know when, but it will. They're all working for the same goal, right? They're like, okay, we're going to get to the Grail. This is what I'm doing.
They're all working for the same goal.
Here,
different goals.
But, coming to the same point ultimately, which is all about the Grail. Here, it's like, Sek is dealing with these guys where it's just, one off. They're designed to get killed off this episode. Spoilers. And then you have Troa doing his own thing that has nothing to do with what Sex is doing.
It depends on how. Sorry, the word escaped me all of a sudden. It depends on how broad strokes you want to make those statements. Technically, everyone in Oz is working towards Trace's goal, which we already established in previous discussion. Trace has a goal. Like, Oz is being used specifically for some other thing that Trace is all about, essentially the Romefeller Foundation. So, whatever Zex is actually doing, whatever Noin is actually doing, ultimately should be towards a singular goal, in the same way that everyone fighting the Grail War is a singular goal of achieving the Grail.
Yeah,
in the same way that Operation Meteor, all the Gundam pilots are working towards revenge against Oz. They may be doing different things, but ultimately they are trying to do the same thing.
Because here's the thing. If we're doing an A-plot, B-plot situation, which I think what the episode was going for, usually the B-plot, it's more compressed and can be chopped up. Like, it could be like a mention, like, oh, by the way, what's Troa doing? And Troa just does a thing, and that's it. Here's like, oh, or could it be, you can break down the action of what's happening on the A-plot.
Troa's plot is actually a greater plot, though. Like, it might not seem that way from the 1/3 of the episode he got, but Troa's segment is foreshadowing a thing to come.
Yeah, the fact that he doesn't destroy.
I'm not saying this as somebody who's watched Gundam Wing before. I'm not indicating towards you, another person who's watched Gundam Wing before. I'm indicating it as somebody who took a note that the episode is foreshadowing events to come because of something that they say. And so as somebody who doesn't remember a lot, because something you brought up during Fate, I'm watching a lot of shows. So, I don't also, like, in my head, Gundam Wing is like 20 episodes, but it's like way double that. So clearly there's a bunch of shit I do not remember. So Troa alludes to future shit happening in this last episode. So that is the point of his B plot.
Yeah, but again,
well, that the not killing himself and the emotionality the hero talked about last episode.
Follow your heart, yeah. When your heart is with Catherine, then no,
nothing's wrong with acting on your emotions.
Yeah, which is how I interpret it, is like follow your heart, basically your emotions, your heart.
No, I mean, follow your heart is an aspect of it, but I don't think that's the all of it. I think follow your heart. Acting on your emotions is like a Venn diagram of which follow your heart would be an overlap, but is not the totality of follow your emotions. Or acting on your emotions, sorry. I get the two things conflated now. Well, follow your heart, that tends to be like protect the people you love, do the things you enjoy doing, that sort of thing, where acting on your emotions can just be anything. Now, I mean, a Sith could say to another Sith, act on your emotions. I don't think another Sith's going to say, follow your heart. I mean, Palpatine to Anakin, maybe. But acting on your emotions, yes, let the anger course through you, is not the same thing as follow your heart.
Your next note, then.
I completely forgot we were talking about missiles.
Yeah.
Ironic, because my next note is actually about missiles. So Zex is testing his ability to pilot the Tall Geese by doing a drop on an Oz base and having them fire anti-aircraft missiles at him. Fine. Whatever. No, they call them anti-aircraft missiles. I know surface-to-air missiles are in basically the same thing. They said anti-aircraft missiles, not having a debate with you. And remember, fine, whatever, is the flippancy I wrote into my note already, absent of you trying to correct me mid-stride. I wish I had the wherewithal to know you were going to say a thing and write, fine, whatever, ahead of you. But the thing that stood out to me was that when they fire the missiles, we see their trajectory and angle of approach as Zex fires on them with his beam weapon. He shoots them straight on. If you follow that line back to the ground, he's firing on the base itself. and there is no indication that the beams dissipate after destroying the missiles. So on top of giving everyone in the command tower a heart attack, when he soared at them, he's likely severely damaging the base as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is not a reflection of how they would be seen in the show. But again, these missiles, especially when you go back to the originals, are also not supposed to. They're supposed to be long range. They're supposed to have, like, I think, a 65 to 70 pound warhead, which probably wouldn't do any damage to. I mean, I don't know if these actually were armed missiles. Hopefully,
I mean, it wouldn't do any damage to the
they
tall geese because we saw what the Noventa cannon does to the tall geese, which is nothing.
Yeah, which is also kind of weird the way the Noventa cannon works, but
it seems like a high-powered flak cannon of some sort, even though it's way, like saying high-powered because it's way more powerful than a flak cannon, but it has the same effect as a flak cannon.
Yeah, it's kind of also like kind of energy thing. It has a build-up, and it's like I don't know.
It's very difficult to tell because of the way that they draw explosions.
Yeah, I mean, these could have been just literally older missiles that they were using for the set that they would not regularly use, but then that wouldn't be a fair test of the tall geese abilities, I guess.
Again, my whole point is the element that Zex is firing on the base. We see we see the way the missiles fire, and then we see from Zex's position that they're heading straight on towards him, so you can follow the line of the shot back to the base. And again, there's no indication that the beam fire dissipates after hitting them. So essentially, he is follow the line back to the base.
Destroying the launchers too. Or at least one of them.
Well, I don't know. You assume that they didn't move after firing. Like they may have, because Zex is coming down. So assumably they are tracking him, which means that they are not coming at the same. They fire, and then they have to change altitude to keep track of him. But I don't think they're fire and forget. I think they're tracking him. In which case, the angle of approach is decreasing, which means that where the launcher may have been, elbow and shot may have been. That is not appropriate. Let's go a little bit lower. Well, it's saying if the launcher was here and they fired this way as they're coming down, and Zex is, I can't here and take this elbow, then as they're changing their approach, the trajectory that he's firing to them changes as well. So if you still follow that, where the launchers may have been here, the trajectories, the line of sight from him to the missiles here is slowly moving this way, which means the area that we hit launchers here is moving backwards this way.
But he looks like he's coming straight down. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Down. If they fired at him where he was, then they track. And that means they're lowering their altitude as he's lowering his altitude, which means that the line of sight between
them directly.
But again, they're coming at him. Again, here's the element: is I can't do this with one hand. They are coming this way. He is coming down this way. If they are lowering their descent or descending to track with him, then they are going like this. Their path going this way is now going this way. Yeah,
expansion.
Right. So if he is firing on them, he's not firing at them from where they launch straight up. He's firing at them as they're tracking, as they're coming straight on, because the thing shows us he's firing straight on at them. So that if you follow the line, it's no longer going this way to the launchers, it's going this way back towards the rest of the base.
Yeah, but we don't know. Probably just the tarmac got hit and had a big hole on it.
Actually, we can tell there is hangars and shit the further back you go. Like the command tower is off to the side. There's literally a shot. You can tell. They are approaching from an angle that looks like the launchers are in a greenery area in front of the tarmac. But as you follow it back, because again, Zex, center of the angle, missiles approaching from this way, hangar facility on the path of them. Not the command center. Yeah. The command center is like way off on the right-hand side of the image.
Yeah.
But even damage to the tarmac is still damage to the base.
Yeah. We don't get a good overhead shot of the base, so we can't really tell where exactly everything is.
I think that shot is sufficient. Again, this is one of those situations where probably if one of us had like one of those electric easels and all of that, like we can John Madden this shit out, but weird hand gestures and shit is all I can do with one hand because the push to talk is what I use.
Anyway, talking about more military hardware, go to my second note. Then again, talking about old, Soviet systems. In the next scene, we see Alliance soldiers using Ehrlichen 35mm AAA mounts with the kind of flash suppressors used by the likes of the Gepard AAA vehicle. So I guess Cold War gear is still available in the Alliance and still underused, right? So give you a chance to the real life. I know, it's under Swiss. That's
to
the closest case.
Gundam Wing came out in 1995, which is only 6 years after the dissolution of the Soviet state.
3 years, because the Soviet state fell in 1992.
Oh, I thought it fell in 1989. Dissolved. As I said, the dissolution of the Soviet state. Soviet Union didn't fall.
The Iron Curtain and the end of the Cold War in 1989, but officially the Soviet Union ended it in 1992. The summer, I believe, in 1992. If I remember correctly. Yeah. But I mean, yes, that's true. But this is supposed to be after Colony 195.
We have no establishing information about what that actually means. In the same way that in that one manga that I told you about that covers the history of Minovsky and his life, technically Universal Century 15 had a date to it as well.
Year of our Lord, basically.
AD. I'm just saying that it had also a date attached to it too. So the fact that this is after Colony 125, I can't remember what they fucking say. It's in my notes somewhere. Doesn't mean that it's last year of our current calendar and then they started at 0. They could have started it at whatever date, and then we're just, it could have started last year.
Your next point, then.
To something I said during last episode, Alex and Mueller are part of the Northeast Africa Somalia front, and I got confused. Granted, I've never been an expert on the layout of Africa, despite how many episodes of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego game show I watched as a kid. If you ever watched the final part of that show where they've got to put the stands on top of the map on each of the locations and it lights up when they get the right place. I think like 3 kids ever won the show. Well, because you had to get one right every second, which means you had to be 100% right all the time. Anyway, if you said Northeast Africa, I would think Egypt, Libya, Sudan, that general area. Somalia is on the eastern side of Africa, below the Red Sea. I don't know. I don't make maps. This is just the pedantic shit that would get me killed, I'm sure.
I mean, it's called the Horn of Africa because it juts out the continent. There would be technically it's sub-Saharan Africa because it's below the line of North Africa, the Sahara. So it should be East African Command, not Northeast. It depends how they because if they go northeast, it goes down the Red Sea all the way to the Horn of Africa. That could be a thing. If it's North Africa, it could be, say, Libya to all the way to the west. Forgot the name of the country. It was a French colony once.
Yeah, that really narrows it down.
I'm thinking World War II
I know. I'm just saying that France had colonies all over the goddamn place. It used to be a French colony. Literally, would be one of the. It would be
Algiers. Algiers, yes.
It would be apropos to that one time we mentioned. God, was it in Seed, where one of the bases was on the Russian coast?
It all depends how you divide it up. Either way, you were right. Somalia is on the Horn of Africa. It's East Africa. So Northeast Africa, okay, I guess. Depends on where you put the north-south line. Is it sub-Saharan Africa? Is it, divided by the tropics, like the line of the tropics, etc.
part of Somalia is south of the equator, but that doesn't mean anything because
Equator, yeah, something, yeah.
Africa is also half, or not half, but
continent.
some of it south of the equator.
Significant portion of it. It's a fucking whole continent.
A significant portion of it, but not half. I would say the majority of Africa is north of the equator, but not all of it is the point. Although that goes to how globes are made, actually, and how maps are made. Technically, the closer you get towards the poles, the actual larger the land masses get, although they don't seem that way on the map. I forget which specific type of map making that's called. It's not an invitation to look. I don't fucking care. Just saying that.
No. Actually, I think it's the opposite. That lands are in most globes are projected larger in the north when it should be smaller.
Sorry. You're going on to the globe thing. I corrected myself and said map making, not globes. Globes are different because globes stretch to accommodate the image of a round sphere, whereas certain maps, dude, I don't care. I already said I didn't care.
Anyway, my third note. The attack on the Alliance base shows two things. A, the war against the Alliance continues, which makes sense. This is a global organization that managed to dominate the entire planet. And B, how evil Alex and Mueller are. Although, to be fair, even Alex found Mueller's evil laugh way over the top.
I don't know. So I just thought it was entering my head. Are they evil? They're certainly not good, but are they evil?
I think so. I mean, it's like, oh, yeah, you surrendered. Nah, we're just going to execute you.
I mean, no, certainly it's a war crime. I'm not arguing that point. But, was the Alliance good? Is two bad people killing each other evil?
Still bad. I mean,
is
they're
it?
Not
That's
doing
literally,
it.
Legitimately, though, is it? If two Nazis kill each other, is it bad?
In this situation, it's because they claim they're doing it because that is supposed to be Oz's ideals, but by what sex does and by sex own
no, they don't claim it's Oz's ideals. They don't say it's Oz. They claim something else because obviously it's not Oz's ideals. No, that's literally Zex's argument against it. That these are not Trey's ideals.
That's what they claim when they were in the when they're trying to get troops from the other guy in the base. Like, oh, we're doing Trey's Shinada's.
That's not what they say. That's not what they say to the base commander in the beginning of the episode, though.
No, they're but that's how they justify later on.
Yeah, well, I don't care what their internal justification is. I'm talking about how they're proposing this to the rest of the world, i.e., the people that they're attacking and killing. What the potential survivors might tell people. Nobody cares what you tell you got yourselves on the inside. That's all internal. Well, because you self-justify, nobody gives a shit what you're self-justifying. What everybody else thinks is the problem you're going to have. And who the fuck cares anyway? We know Trey's wants Oz to be hated.
Like that.
So Trey's probably fucking loves these guys.
I don't know. Trey's is a confusing figure.
Well, I'm saying we want Oz to be hated because it goes to my previous comment about the fact that Trey's is using Oz for a different purpose. Like, obviously, he's going to abandon Oz at some point. It feels like, at least this point in the show. But that he's going to make Oz a world enemy to then do something else. That would be the purpose of creating something for the purposes of being hated.
Anyway, to your next point then.
I guess Killer of His Own Men is a nickname that's filtered down the ranks. Zex said it about himself to Trey's, and now Mueller is saying it to Miser.
Which is interesting because, well, his men, he has lost men under his command. That's true. But I think more people died under Char's command. And if you know Origins, he literally set up a guy to be killed by his own people. So it's a
messianic thing.
Yeah,
that people are killing. It's like a Jesus thing. People are killed. See, very few people under Char's command were killed for Char. People under Zex are killing themselves for Zex.
At least one person did that.
Yeah, but everybody else that's around him, literally the conversation that Mueller and Alex have with the Lake Victoria base staff, is we would do anything for sex. Literally, this is what.
Not too sure.
No, they said.
No, they were not saying.
They did say for sex. They did for
sex.
sex. Meiser specifically says we would do anything for sex.
Oh, yeah, Meiser, not Mueller and Alex.
No, I said that he said that to Mueller and Alex. Because Mueller and Alex are talking about knowing this and knowing that, and there's no soldiers around here, and he's like, well, it's sex. We would do anything for sex. Because he's like, what the fuck is up with you guys and sex? And I'm saying that Otto is just the one that we know, but everybody else is like, Jesus sex, So
yeah,
it's like a messianic thing.
And that will never come back to bite them in the ass.
I don't think so.
Now to my next note, my number 4. I hate when fiction messes up rank names. If Noin is a lieutenant colonel, she should be simply referred to as colonel, with the full use of rank reserved for official functions or to distinguish her from colonel. Calling her a lieutenant sounds like she got demoted.
She never got promoted. Sex got promoted. She didn't get promoted. She's always been a lieutenant.
She's a lieutenant colonel.
No,
that's the problem.
The argument we had last time is that Sex didn't get promoted, and I admitted I was wrong. That's why he is actually a colonel on the board now. She never got promoted. She has always been lieutenant. You made me think about Lady Un. Lady Un is a lieutenant colonel.
No. Noin gets called a lieutenant colonel. She's the first thing they say, she's lieutenant colonel, and then it's like, by the way, she's a lieutenant, which is why the confusion. It's like you go back to calling her a lieutenant. She's actually lieutenant colonel. That's the problem.
No,
you're not supposed
she's a lieutenant. I just double checked because fuck you. I'm tired of this shit. She's a lieutenant. The wiki lists her as lieutenant.
Then they missaid when they said
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about because I don't have it. I literally just watched the episodes today as well. I assume you did because we both seem to be the type that watched it the day of. No, she's they never call her by rank as far as I can recall in the episode.
Multiple times.
She's only ever been referred to as lieutenant. And apparently, I guess, spoiler alert for the rest of the show, she's never not going to be a lieutenant.
Yeah, they messed it up because there's a point where they say, she's lieutenant colonel. No, back to calling her lieutenant. It was like,
I disagree. I disagree so much that we've had argument to the point that I had to Google something, but at the same time, never going to go back and check. So we might as well just abandon the argument now. You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. Leave it to a commenter at this point. This is where we get our engagement lessons. People who want to argue more than we do. Well, more than I do.
True enough.
I'm tired of it sometimes, honestly. It seems like I love arguing due to the amount of time that I do it, but I actually don't enjoy it as much anymore. Not on the... Look, it's better when, you're 50% sure that you're right and I'm, 50% sure I'm right, because then it's like a wiggle room. If you think you're 100% sure you're right and I think I'm 100% sure I'm right, it's not fun. It's not fun to argue. Well, I guess the show is also acknowledging that Hiro isn't human, or at least whatever strange inputs the Oz mechanic is giving a computer to make it say that about him.
Yeah. He has this thing with the scientists who could... I don't know if we ever actually do get an explanation of why that is.
Being hyperbolic?
Yeah.
The guys that putting the stuff into the computer about what the pilot must go through to pilot the Wing Zero. And they're saying, this person's not human. Because the readout of what the person doing the piloting must have to go through would be beyond a human's ability to withstand. And then put that into everything that we've ever said before about what the fuck Hiro does.
True, but also Sex says they must be training out of space. Special training out of space. So he's dismissing the fact that he's not human.
The weaker muscles and the less bone density, that clearly makes him stronger than a normal human.
Well, that only happens if they spend significant amount of time in 0G or G. If they're spending time in Earth-like gravity, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, because Hiro looks like a kid. Hiro looks like what the Expanse characters would call a belter.
That's true. But this is anime. We can't just go by looks alone.
I judge people based on looks all the time. I'm joking. I realized halfway through there was no clear way to express this as a joke. I was trying to do a book by its cover joke, but it's like I don't know how to do this.
I love the dramatic lighting of the windows when Alex talks about sex. He just needed a dun 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 to make it perfect. He's in talking to like we need more soldiers, and then he says like, "What about sex?" And the whole window goes white. It's like okay, dramatic moment for no reason whatsoever. Only the fact is mentioning sex.
I also don't recall any overcast.
True, I mean, but it's the windows just blanked out in light, in white light. I'm like, okay.
Also, it's not a subtle show.
No. If this show had a baseball bat, it would probably cover it in like tacks and razor blades and
Shirley
and nails.
Is it Shirley?
From I know what you're talking about. The zombie show, yeah.
Yes, that's what we call it, the zombie show.
Yeah. Oh, half a dozen.
I can't wait for AMD to give us more money for the zombie show.
Yeah. How many seasons? Like 14, 15?
I don't know.
Ridiculous. Stupid.
I think I stopped watching it like third, fourth.
I never did. I'm not a big horror fan.
I used to read the Walking Dead comic. So at a certain point in the first season, one of my favorite characters dying, who does not die at that point in the story. Like, cool.
Your next note then.
Couple of funny things. Zex refers to Noventa as His Excellency, respecting the title despite being a part of the organization that got the man killed. Also, they named the prized cannon after the man they are acknowledging as being a peace lover.
Yeah. Well, peace of superior firepower, I guess that was their motto. It turns out the gun wasn't a superior firepower because the Tallgeese was strong.
Well, no, the Tallgeese was faster. They couldn't get a lock on it. I mean, I guess there could also be the element that perhaps they named it after an element that doesn't really exist. Like, Noventa just happens to also be the discoverer of an element on the periodic table, so they named it after the element that it canon uses.
In the first shot, they claimed they hit it, and it survived. And then later, I was like, oh, we can't lock on just too fast. But that happens after the first explosion.
I mean, they claimed they hit it.
Yeah.
Clearly they didn't. The thing doesn't even have a scratch, so
it's weird how that gun is supposed to work, because I guess it shoots guided energy arcs. I don't
think it's guided. I think it's just a flat cannon. It's firing explosives that the air equivalent of depth charges.
It's weird. Why did sex play into Alex and Mueller's arrogance? To teach them a lesson? Because they come and say, you're the famous sex, blah, blah. He's like, okay, fine. I'm going to be your subordinate. Like, huh?
Because he wants experience with the Tallgeese.
Yeah, but he could just order them, okay, you're going to come with me, and that's it, right? He didn't have to become their subordinate.
Do you not remember?
That's the part.
Do you not remember the speech from like episode 1 or 2? We've brought it up a number of times. He hates the fact that people think he's better than what he is. So, because it makes people expect more from him and all this other shit. And, his enemies come after him specifically. So, being someone else's subordinate is not like the pressure involved in the thing that he actively talks about hating.
True.
And not for nothing, he's always somebody's subordinate. He prefers to be a subordinate.
True, but in this case doesn't make it.
It's also their mission. Why would he want to be in charge of a mission he knows nothing about?
He gets debriefed. Like, what's going on? Oh,
yeah, he is getting debriefed by them, who is literally they are on they're the main people of Somalian front. You understand? Mogadishu is the Somalian capital, right? It's literally their operation. It doesn't make sense to. It doesn't make to usurp them of their operation right when they're trying to do it. That'd be a dick move. We'd be having a conversation about what a dick move that was that Zex did. No,
really, it's not really a dick move, because he is a superior. Like, especially when the way they talk to him, like, oh, you're the best and everything. Oh, you think I'm so good?
They were surprised that he was going to be their subordinate.
But the conversation starts with him like, hey, you're a piece of shit. You find this whole thing, blah, blah. And he's like, what the fuck are these motherfuckers?
I mean, to be fair, you might perceive what they say to be asshole-ish words, but at the same point, I would argue not untrue.
Yeah, but they're lieutenants. He's a colonel. You don't talk to a colonel that way.
Apparently
You
you
do in Oz. Yeah, apparently you do.
Evidence
Like,
suggests contrary.
yeah. It's just like I don't know. I don't understand.
I would just argue that it makes more sense to leave them in command of their operation, given that they know everything about it, and it would take you more time to get you caught up on the details. Whereas all they need is active soldiers, and you are one of.
It doesn't really take that much time. Brief me on the situation.
Let's
come up with a plan together.
You're saying that. You have no idea about the operation either. For all you know, it's a very complex operation. I would argue that a 3-man operation, actually it's a 4-man operation, is so much more complex.
Yeah, but they didn't seem to be that complicated.
Again, you say, we are looking at the overall of it from a show that's not subtle. Can you imagine if this operation was happening in another show? We'd get like 3 episodes leading up to this shit. We got to procure the boat guy that's going to like get us down the river, subterfuge our way past so many Somalian guards or whatever the fuck, or I guess United Earth Alliance guards in Somalia.
Yeah.
To get us into Mogadishu, we have to find our way to hide these transports, and then we have to coordinate that with Sex's personal blue plane, it seems like, so that he can drop at just the right time, while at the same time the cancer circling the coast. There's so much shit that has to go right at the same time.
Space shuttle. It's a shuttle, transport shuttle thing. So,
I understand it's a shuttle. I'm just saying that it's the same thing every time.
Yeah. It's his personal shuttle, apparently.
I know, you just said that. Also, would have gotten that from the first episode to now, where he's only been in the same shuttle. It might as well have a big Z on the back of it.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Talking about cannons, wait a minute. That was my note? No, that wasn't.
Was that your note?
That was my note, yeah. Note. Your note, then.
Was it? I don't remember. What was the note?
About them being arrogant.
Oh, okay. I thought we might have been still talking about the cannon. I just don't remember where we're at anymore.
No, I do have a note about the cannon, but it's a throwaway.
So we are foreshadowing, or we're getting foreshadowing for Oz moving the fight into space, with Tro spying on a carrier being loaded with fuel for the shuttles. He says that carrier is being loaded with fuel for enough for 20 shuttles.
Yeah, which is a hell of a lot of fuel. But then again, these carriers are huge as well.
Which was my indication towards the B plot of this episode, foreshadowing future story
events. Mm-hmm. The Alliance. We shall name a very special cannon after our dear departed leader. I guess when they named the cannon, he was still alive, but still.
As I said, Noventa could have been a scientist. He could have discovered a new element, and they named the cannon after the element, not him. So the circus is doing a show at an Oz base, and the soldiers see the Gundam, recognize that it is a Gundam, and just start saying how cool it looks, and how they are a little scared. Yet none of them run for it till after it starts shooting. This is a Gundam. People should have started scrambling for alarms the moment they saw it. And not for nothing, it's standing there, and then it gets a spotlight turned on. Similarly, people would have seen, that looks like the shadow of a Gundam.
That's a big thing they have there. What the hell is that?
I'm just saying, people should have been on the phones, like, there's a Gundam here.
It's a Gundam.
I'm just saying, these are soldiers. No, Alex, they should have been something.
Yeah. My next note. No, Alex, that nameless run died because you wouldn't accept the base surrender. And then you died because you were stupid enough to attack the tall geese. He's like, oh, no, you killed him. No, you killed him.
Well, no. He killed himself, technically.
Of the base. Yeah, the commander of the base actually fired missiles.
I would argue that the guy killed himself, technically, because he just sat there and waited for orders instead of, keep moving. Yeah. He could have been in the air moving around. Arguably, that's another gig, at the very end, you brought up the fact that he sent a message to Noin about their training and not actually being intelligent. This is another evidence of intelligence he should have sent Noin. Also, train your soldiers to keep moving in combat, especially if the whole point of their bubble suit is the high mobility factor. And don't just sit there waiting for confirmation of orders. Also, I don't know. It's dumb. But as I said during the reaction itself, the element that the missiles come kind of over the tall geese's shoulder and destroy this, that if you were just in the right position, it would look like Zex destroyed it. That's where I got from their element of you killed him. It's the only part after that is this is your fault. You caused him to die, sort of thing that they say indicates that they know it wasn't Zex directly. But again, from a certain point of view, it kind of does look like Zex is the man who killed him. Although I would also argue that Zex is their subordinate. And the element is that he's kind of disobeying their direct orders, and his disobedience to their orders causes another soldier to hesitate, and that caused that soldier's death. So you could see, from certain argument stance, that he would be an element of responsibility.
Yeah, but the whole situation started because they were like, no, we're not going to accept the surrender of this space. We're going to keep on killing.
Also, another scene like the one I described before with Duo and Quattro. Troa is talking from inside the cockpit to Catherine, who is on the ground, inferno around her, perfectly able to hear one another. Also, another shot that makes a little sense. Catherine is looking straight on at the heavy arms, meaning that they are facing each other, and a Leo appears from behind her and fires. The heavy arms then appears from beside her to flip into the Leo's beam path, meaning that Troa saw the Leo firing, ran away from Catherine, circled back towards her, and then jumped in the way of the beam.
He stopped it with his knee. No, knee and leg, no less.
Well, the point, again, God, maybe we need to start starting these episodes like a map program.
Yeah.
Because again, look, me and the camera.
I know. You
I'm
have the point.
Catherine.
You're absolutely right. I'm not disputing that.
Well, again, he does the backflip too.
Yeah, and he lands and he stops the beams with his knee. That's what I was saying, and leg.
Yeah, it's just the element that he has to, by purposes of running towards her to flip, has to run away from her at some point. That doesn't have to be like directly away. He can run sideways, turn, and then come back. But also, from the same position when Hero saved Relina, just hand over, block shot.
Or just jump. He just jumps in front of her and takes the hit, and that's it.
I would argue that hand over block shot is a lot safer for Catherine than jumping the heavy arms over her.
But if you talk about speed, right? If you're just want to stop this before killing her, I mean, just jumping works.
Speed, you're already facing the Leo. Heavy arms, gun. In fact, you don't have to raise your arms. 2 of them are built into your shoulders. Shoot it every time. Kills a Leo, dead.
Going back a little bit about the heavy arms and the canopy, how the hell did Troy get the heavy arms into that tank without anybody noticing? Because everybody's surprised, like, oh, this is going to be great. And like, there's a giant thing inside a tent. He had to walk it in, and nobody.
You see how I'm sitting in a recliner?
Yeah.
You seen the recliners for specifically old people that have inability to move, that they lift up so you kind of get pushed into a standing position? You remember how the heavy arms is on the back of a truck with like a big old tarp covering it? Probably the back of the truck just pulls in. I don't know. I went with this motion. I'm holding the drinks. This is your table? It's 5 drinks? Anyway, heavy arms comes in to the tent on the back of the truck. The truck has a lift on the back that just pushes it up. Still covered in the tarp. I don't know. It's a shape under a tarp.
It's still a huge thing.
You asked how.
What the fuck is this doing?
You asked how. Yeah. That's my best explanation, that the tarp just sits over top of it, and it's just a shape under a tarp.
Yes.
In that point of position, it could be a statue, for anyone knows.
But usually in these shows, you have to coordinate these things. Like, oh yeah, Troy is just bringing this, whatever the fuck this is. Sure.
I mean, when it's with the circus crew, it's not always covered by the tarp. Sometimes it's just sitting half out. The circus people gotta know it's a Gundam. Or if not a Gundam, at least a mobile suit.
Some sort of like that. Sure, I guess the
they probably just think it's a mobile suit until somebody starts screaming in the crowd, that's a Gundam. Because, I mean, what the hell do they know, right? What do they know about Gundams? They can just think it's a really colorful mobile suit. It's like, oh, this guy's really good for the circus. He's got a clown mobile suit.
Yeah, red and white and whatever. But still, it's like, I guess the boss is okay with this. Sure. I'm not going to question it. They don't pay me for that.
Well, I mean,
They
the
just
boss
walk
is
away.
okay with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, apparently. Well, he was surprised by it. He didn't know he was. Oh, okay.
I
I
mean,
think it's going to be cool.
I'll tie this part in then to my final note, which is like a couple sentences. How the hell is Troa still friends with the circus people? He's essentially ruined their lives. Oz now knows that they harbored a Gundam.
My note is practically the same. That's my final note too. Although I do have a note in between, so it'll turn out to be not my final note. Also, Troa destroyed your Big Ten, and now your circus will be associated with the Gundams. The thing that the Alliance wants to destroy. So no, Catherine, you shouldn't want him to come back, like ever.
Well, when I say circus, I mean circus in general, or at least like the guy the circus, the ringleader, whatever you want to call him.
Ringleader, yeah.
Catherine is obviously interested in him. Catherine wants him to come back for her, not for the circus. But the fact that her and the ringleader together are like, I don't know, there's that one episode of Young Justice that this kind of reminds me of, when the entire Young Justice crew sneaks into the circus so that they can perform a undercover operation, and they're like, all these places have been hit everywhere the circus has been hit. It's like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just bad for the circus. Like, I don't understand why the ringleader's like, oh, he's one of the best I've ever seen. If he ever comes back, he could be the best. What? At ruining your circus?
At being a target, I guess. That's what he does. He just is a target for.
No, he does other stuff. He just, like, the main thing that we saw, because he's getting flashed back to this episode, is, knife throwing for Catherine. But, he also does tumbling and other jester-related shit.
And, well, that was your last note, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, my second to last note, which now will become my last note because I answered your note with my note, goes something like this. Catherine's VA in English talks about Troy in so nonchalant way, it's hilarious. Although, props for punching him in the face to save his life. She doesn't take shit for anybody. Like at one moment, it's like, oh no, this is happening. Okay, well, that's interesting. Wow. And then it's like, you're not going to kill yourself. Punch in the face, I'm like, okay. That was a tonal shift.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking 1995, Gundam Wing comes out and punching him in the face to snap him out of it. Gurren Lagann being the next thing coming into my head, but that's 2000s, so let me see you grit those teeth.
But it's sort of like, she's like, oh no, he's destroying the 10. What is he doing? Oh my God. Wait, you want to kill yourself? Fuck you. Punch. Yeah, it's like,
well, I mean, because she's putting it together. She doesn't realize he's going to kill himself then when he's punching through the tent. But he says, self-destruction move, and that's to my previous point about the fact that apparently anybody can hear him mutter any goddamn thing when he's in the cockpit. And then she puts together, he wants to die. And then, not for nothing, before she punches him, he literally says, I'm going to self-destruct, you better back up.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, again, we go back to the other note. Like, he's literally destroying the thing that shits her workplace, right? And people are running scared and all that. She's like, isn't that a shit? Oh, well.
I don't know. I'm less inclined to be having a problem with the fact he shot through the tent than I am the fact that he attacked Oz under the under the auspices of being part of the circus, because that makes everyone in the circus guilty. Like, I don't know how they didn't get arrested. He must have killed everybody on the base. Like, he didn't just shoot the plane out of the air. He must have guys were killed everybody.
Those guys in the tent started running. He didn't start shooting them, so some of them probably survived.
Well, just the element that if there was a surviving base, like if he only killed the transports and then booked it out, then the circus people should have been all arrested.
Well, I think he destroyed a lot of the base when he destroyed the tanks. I got to destroy the tanks, and there was a huge explosion. How much of that took out of the base? I don't know. I'm not saying that it destroyed the base. I'm saying that it was a big explosion. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, if that is everything, then I guess there's nothing left but to hop on into the episode and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, If you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
it's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
there's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I think, as memory serves, the other opening doesn't come till the end of the show.
Oh, or close to it.
I think I heard something recently that it was like the last 10 episodes of the show or something.
Still good. Still like it. I have it. I downloaded the whole OSC. I don't know if it includes the movie or not, but yeah.
I don't know. I was about to say something like maybe at some point we should do like top openings, like ranking the openings of the show. Not this show, of Gundam shows, but I think it occurs to me also that I'm just not good at that. Well, I just don't
You would
tend
have to go back and
Well, I just don't tend to care.
Oh.
Right? The songs I really like, and those are good, and then the rest of them I don't really care. Like, they're good or good enough that they're good, but I don't care about them. In which case, it's like, yeah, and there's also the good ones that I do like that aren't good enough to remember on their own. So unless reminded, I wouldn't even think about them. So in which case, there would be like a couple of really good songs, and then just a bunch of nothing I don't care about. Oh yeah, I didn't mention the fact that I was also slightly confused by the military commander of the Noventa base thing, the Mogadishu base.
Yeah.
Because he also looked like Bonaparte. Like, to the point I had to go back to the board, and it's like, oh no, Bonaparte has a mustache that connects to his beard, it goes all the way down, and this guy has a slight opening where it doesn't. God forbid that is Bonaparte survived and, like, cut his hair a little bit.
Talk about confusing. First of all, I thought that I put it in Japanese and started in English. Second, this opening was close tied to the opening of the last time. Am I watching episode? This is a different episode. Actually, it's a two-parter, I think.
I don't know, it's a two-parter.
Well, it's episode 14, The Order to Destroy... Oh, Destroy 01.
Yeah.
It's not a two-parter.
No.
Destroy 01.
Yeah. Wing 0 is also 01.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, I always like those discs. The computer with the sidecar, too.
Remember, he was unconscious for a month.
Mm-hmm. Well, he likes the blonde, so, you know.
Come on, Relina, this is all the fashion. 1,000 years ago.
ロームフェラ財団はどうしてモビルスーツにこだわったのでしょうか。巨大な機械に人間は恐れを感じます。しかし同時に強い憧れを持ちます。2本の足で歩く。ボタンやスイッチで決着。I
believe it was a wise man that once said, "Chicks dig giant robots."
Yeah.
Nice.
もしそうであれば、それは命をもてあそぶ戯れです。がむしゃらな死の方が戦争の中では正直な生き方です。
Wow. That's pretty deep.
In war, much like in a fire, a frenzy to death is the most honest way.
そのロームフェラ財団の会合がブレーメン郊外で多くの招待客を交えて行われた。ロームフェラ財団はヨーロッパの王侯貴族を発祥としている。その巨大な財力と人脈を生かし、兵器開発に力を注いでいた。地球圏統一連合軍にモビルスーツを提供し、勢力を広げ、今回のクーデターを成功させたのである。
どうしたのですか？失礼いたします。
You did come to the last party armed.
仕方ないですね。私にはいろいろと前科がありますから。この扉の後ろにはドーリアン氏とあなたの王国を滅ぼした者たちがいます。ですがリリーナ様、本日は。
To be fair, though, I don't consider that man my father.
平和主義国サンクキングダムの元首として。
My father died on a colony.
Killed by us.
過去、地球圏統一連合が世界平和のために多くの資金と援助を求めてきた。我々は平和の達成に協力は惜しまなかった。だが彼らは対話によって平和を求めるようになった。地球は
That guy's got a lot of rings.
はずのない多くの紛争を抱えている。人類に必要なのは管理する
Hey, it's Mark Twain.
ではないのか。そしてそれは支配という形で実行される。これでこそ平和は維持できるのである。連合には支配する器量はなかった。支配には多大な
Sorry, did we get taken over by the Romulans? What's happening here?
皆様は時代を支配できる伝統をお持ちである。
I mean, the symbol in the background is the Romulan one.
And the raptor's wings.
オズがこんな形で世界を支配しようとしているなんて。連合の中に
I mean, the Alliance did.
隠していた時、ロームフェラ財団はこの考えを表に出してはいませんでした。連合が世界を平和にできないの
They didn't hide.
というように、オズが
She said the Romefeller Foundation hid within the Alliance. No, they didn't. The Romefeller Foundation funded Oz and built mobile suits for the Alliance.
過去の支配制度の崩壊は貧困につながる悪性への革命です。ロームフェラ財団に参加した国家は負けない戦争を続けるつもりなのでしょう。そのために
As you probably should.
部隊がオズの存在に必要なのです。
That's part of the Weinberger doctrine, if I'm familiar.
オズはガンダム
Only enter into battles you're sure to win.
そのためにコロニーを直接攻撃することでガンダムを沈黙させました。ロームフェラ財団は早急にガンダムを叩こうとしているのです。多くの犠牲の上に君臨しようとする人たちに犠牲者を出さないために命を捨てようとしたヒーローの気持ちなんて一生わからない。
Not really. He tried to sacrifice his life because he was told to.
But he was told to do so in order to prevent the missile.
No, my point is that the morality she's expressing, that Hero expressed, is morality expressed by Dr. J, not Hero.
Yeah, yeah.
とりあえずシュリナーだ。
Grenada.
オズはモビルスーツという軍事力で過剰な支配を行うと考えられるかもしれません。支配という言葉は抑圧する姿勢、おごりある行動に思えます。しかしこれは人間の必要以上の欲望を抑えるという統治と考えます。神は人類を野放しにしました。人類には神以上のシステムが必要なのです。戦いが一向になくならない世界は神の予測を超えていたのです。この
God couldn't have predicted.
いずれ神にも理解されるでしょう。
出ましょう。我々の来るところではない。
To be fair,
戦うことを
if you find that your god's not powerful enough, find a new god.
リリーナ様、リリーナ様。あなた方は間違っています。
The Gundams will rectify that mistake. Yes, it's a part of the trailer that we watched.
踏みつけられた怒れる者の使者としてリリーナ様、おやめください。いいえ、まだ話があります。どうぞお願いします、リリーナ様。
But no, and I'm about to start freestyling. I would love if that was part of the English VA outtakes. Something neither of these characters saw.
失礼いたしました。とりあえず閣下。では。
失礼。私が招待した友人の妹です。
彼女は何を言いたかったのだ。
ガンダムを不安に思う我々の態度が見透かされたのでしょう。もっと自信を持てと。
そのガンダムだが、ゼクス・マーキスと言ったか。
Also, are you fucking dense? She like spelled it out.
Yeah.
She said she disagreed with you and the Gundams would fix your mistake.
我々にとって脅威になるモビルスーツを直すなどと
正気とは思えん。コロニーに対する見せしめとしても徹底的に破壊すべきだ。おっしゃることはよくわかりました。財団の決定であればガンダムを今一度破壊するよう連絡いたします。
If you say so.
それだけガンダムから受けたオズの
I mean, rumors. Every soldier that's seen one has screamed that it was a Gundam. It's not a rumor.
ガンダムの破壊を承諾されるのですか？
リリーナはどうしている？
活発な方です。警護も大変です。
どこまで知っていた？
養父をしていたドーリアン氏が亡くなる時に少なからずお話ししたようです。あなたのことはサンクキングダム出身の信用できる兵士と伝えてあります。それからガンダム01の自爆した現場にいた唯一の人物であると。
Yeah, as I said, a scene that she wasn't there to see, to remember the way she seemed to.
ヒーローユイは生きているのではとあの方は考えておられます。
ヒーローユイ、それがあのパイロットの中。
リリーナ様も彼とは因縁があるようです。あなたと同じように。
わかった。報告ありがとう、ノイ。
名乗ってはあげないのですか、リリーナ様に。以上です。
名乗れるはずもない。私は血塗られた歴史を繰り返すオズのゼクス・マーキスなのだ。
Or specifically for killing her foster father.
今この館に火をつけて全てを焼き尽くせばいい。
Eh, probably not.
でも神はそんなことお許しにならない。
I figure rich people like this probably have a good amount of flame retardant material in the building.
では罰も作らねばならないか。神は人間が作った創造の産物なのだ。
Wasn't it your speech that was all about fucking God?
I guess so.
You guess
Yeah,
so.
this
You
one
were
tries to
here
get
for the
philosoph-
speech.
I know, but it's. I think it's always like it's trying to get philosophical. I don't know, missing the point.
No, it's when we get to the point where these speeches are also happening in the middle of Gundam fights.
しかしオズはこの日を新たな時代の幕開けとし、ノベンタの乗るシャトルをガンダムによって撃墜させた。
This is what, episode 14? Just the amount of flashbacks we're getting already.
Not Seed style though, but
I mean, we're in the middle of an
he was ready to
episode, and
actually-
this is something that happened
Yeah.
last 7 episodes ago.
yeah. Well, that's a lot of chairs for a truck.
Yeah, it's 4. It's wide enough for the Gundam.
Like 6, like.
No, it was Troa, one next to him, one in the middle, and then Hero, so 4. Assuming that there's not like a double row or something.
それを狙ってオズの襲撃作戦の動きが活発になっているのです。今までは連合の基地があるから町を守れてきたと思っていました。しかし今は基地があることが危険につながります。ここは戦場になる。
ええ、分かっています。ただここでおじい様と暮らした思い出を置いていくのに時間がかかってしまいました。
ノベンタ元帥は立派な方でした。本当の平和というのをいつも考えていらっしゃった。
I mean, he was trying to establish peace on Earth.
Yeah, but it was part of the organization that established the whole situation of war in the first place, right? I don't know. We don't know how long that was, though. That's a good question.
I don't know. If you force every country in the world into your organization and then establish world peace with that, then it might have been worthwhile.
Not really.
Yeah. The
It
ends
won't
justify
work.
the means. You can't say it won't work. You literally don't know. Also, couldn't tell if that was a guy's helmet or hair. Well, to be fair, I thought it was a woman with one of those weird, like, 1960s haircuts. You know, probably better if you aimed up. I mean, they were shooting at Ares, which are flight models, and the bolts were hitting the ground under them. Also shocking. The high rate guns miss everything, but the one-shot bazookas hit.
地下水路の利用、誰もが考える方法だったな。俺のことは構うな。今の俺は足手まといになる。オズにガンダムの存在を知られるわけにはいかないか。我が部隊ほぼ壊滅です。これまでか。ポイント211の水路だ。遅れるな。
You get it though? Oh, Hero would slow him down with his arm, and yet the solution's probably going to be heavy arms. But
Well, he says he doesn't want to. Oh, there goes the kid.
Was that the best way to handle it? Like, maybe they should have animated him getting shot at, so his driving erratically would have made sense. Thank God we planted the explosives beforehand. Oh, no, we didn't do anything? Okay, cool. Or, you know, one of you get out of the Leo and pilot the Gundam. Also, you'd really think that the Leos would have an advantage here in this tunnel against Ares.
He'll kill you. Well, if he hits.
Also, he hasn't been reloaded in a long time. Like, clearly the circus guys weren't reloading him, so... Thank God that mass murderer showed up to kill all the other soldiers.
I'm the guy who killed your grandfather.
ノベンタ元帥を殺したのは私です。私のミスでノベンタ元帥の乗ったシャトルを撃ち落とし、多くの平和を願っていた人たちと共に死なせてしまいました。どうして今の私にはこんなことしかできません。シルビア・ノベンタ。取り返しがつかないことです。元帥を愛されたご家族の怒りと
Wouldn't take much. Insert of a gunshot sound. Cut to the end of episode credits, like a fade to black, and then Rolina in the woods. Whatever song goes. Then cut out every hero scene after, and just pretend he got shot and killed here in the graveyard.
あなたのおばあ様に伺ってまいります。シチリアにいらっしゃると聞きましたが。ここから始める。一族すべてに自分の犯したミスの審判を仰ぐ。すべてが万事、こいつのやることは徹底している。
Is it?
ヒーローユイのやることは。先
He's got to get another gun every time, too, because he's leaving this one with her. We're also assuming she's been trained gun safety, because you're leaving her with a gun presumably loaded.
And doesn't shoot her, in the foot. Okay.
Well, I mean, even, like, just in the long term, like... I'm assuming that's a shell and not the actual thing.
Gundam 01の破壊完了しました。母と調査官。確かに見届けましたが、破片を回収してもよろしいかな?
And yes, while I'm here, can you tell me, have you seen Harry Potter?
やはり自分の目で確かめたいと思います。頭の固いロームフェラの方々に納得していただく報告書を作らねばなりませんので、ご自由に。まあ、何も不審な点はないだろう。簡単にボロを出す男でもなかろう。ゼクス・マーキスは。レイク・ビクトリア基地にガンダムのパーツは何もありません。
The two guys in the pack work for Zeto Kaiba.
Yeah. It's interesting that they're wearing standard suits and everyone else is wearing,
Because they work for Romefeller, so they're supposed to be like just rich guys.
Mm-hmm.
華やかな資産階級に取り入るにはゼクスの裏切りが確実であれば良いのだ。
荒探しをして少しでも財団に対し点数を稼ぎたいんですよ、調査官殿は。いくら調べようと資料と違うデータなど出ませんが。
つまらぬ芝居の片棒を担がせて悪かったな。
私もあの01をただ壊してしまうのはもったいないと思っただけです。しかしおかげでトールギスの予備パーツはほとんどなくなりましたがね。
そうか。これからは迂闊に壊せないな。
I mean, we've never indicated you've ever used any spare parts ever, so...
Yeah.
いるな。少なくとも一人は。
Yeah, just remember that.
I suppose that
Hero succeeds on the back of Zex. Ah, shit, we forgot to watertight it.
Which is something I think Sex is going to regret.
Oh, yeah, I could just completely see the re-edit. Added gun sound, cut out every hero part, and then cut out every part that regards hero. Like, the end of the show is going to get super complicated in the editing process, but...
Yeah. I mean, if you make a new beginning without hero in it, you just make a new beginning.
No, I mean, he gets shot here.
Uh-huh.
She shoots him, and then, like, we get rid of the Troa thing, which that's what hero is like,
Yeah.
And then we just continue on with, like, Zex, and, like, Zex thinks Hero's alive. He has no proof Hero's alive, so he can keep talking about Hero. But then we just got to eliminate every scene where somebody regards Hero, and then it gets more and more complicated because Hero does stuff in the future, so we got to eliminate that, and then eliminate every scene where somebody talks about that. Essentially, we just start becoming Harmony Gold.
Yeah.
We rewrite the show with new scenes, which is just reused past footage. Oh, hey, old man's back. Oh, it's this one.
ガンダム再生は新たな火種を作り出そうとしている。新機動戦機ガンダムウィング第15話決戦の場所南極へ。
I specifically remember that episode.
Yeah, this is where things really get convoluted.
Well, for some reason, I do not remember recognizing Zex and Relina's relationship like the first time I watched this way back when. Until the Antarctica episode, where he like just fucking says it out loud. So
yeah,
because again, I wasn't super analyzing shit back then. So
yeah, this is gonna be interesting, especially what we know that comes out as well. This is where things start like, oh, this guy has this agenda, and Sex has his own agenda. Who's really, and then Romefeller has his own agenda. the colonies have their own
Treize
agenda.
is on Zex's side, at least right now.
Yeah.
So he's giving Zex the order knowing that Zex isn't going to do it.
But still, well, then they're not that complicated. They're superficially seeming complicated, but when because they spell out everything here, it's like, oh no, this is what it seems it is, but this is reality. It's like, okay, yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah, it's not actually not going to be that complicated.
Since I've never seen Gundam Build Fighters, I'm going to say this without the knowledge of Gundam Build Fighters. If it wasn't for G Gundam, this would easily be the children's Gundam show.
Yeah.
Because I would say that G Fighter is a level below this. I would say this is G Fighter's better animated, but the story is much more simplistic.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just simple on the level of like how could we simplify every other Gundam show story? Whereas at least G Fighter is its own story, unlike any other Gundam story, but also Saturday morning cartoon.
Or an out. Yeah.
So this is, like I said, if it wasn't for G Gundam, and again, I've never seen Build Fighters, I don't know if that's childlike. I feel like that's the Digimon of Gundam. So
I've seen scenes. I haven't seen any.
I've seen trailers.
Episode.
I've seen trailers, and I've seen bits of the openings.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that might actually be the child's Gundam thing. I don't know. But in the realm of Gundams I'm aware of, G Gundam and this feels like the child's version of the main Gundam shows, whereas G Gundam feels like Saturday morning cartoon Gundam. So it's just difficult to try and parse this with the same viewpoint that we give like other, like the Universal Century and everything, where we like actually have to weigh the political ramifications of the actions taken by any specific character in a greater universe. It's like if you're watching a Star Wars side story and you're like, oh, that is the rebel base from the movies, but like 5 years after, and we're seeing stuff here. I wonder what that means for the characters from the movies and what it means for the characters here to be, it's a greater universe with a storied timeline and, the seriousness of the Universal Century stuff. So there it's like, oh, what does it mean for this Zeon soldiers to still be in the war in November after Operation British, when it seems like they were on the fence several months ago about even the Zeon war for liberation? And here it's like, oh, he accidentally shot a guy and is now going to the daughter with a gun to see if she wants to shoot him.
Yep.
Not a lot of, there's not a lot of surrounding material there. Also, the fact he's been unconscious for a month. So there's not even him thinking about it. He's just going with it.
I mean, and for a lot of our audience who may or may not know this, when Fade is talking about Saturday morning cartoon, we're talking about the style of Saturday morning cartoon in the United States, because
specifically 90s. I'm specifically talking 90s, about 90s Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, which still had the don't say die rule in many places.
Oh, I mean that's general cartoons, G.I. Joe is very non-violent, ironically, because no one dies. Every pilot parachutes out before the plane explodes. 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Foot Clan, is all robots. It's the only way you could have a turtle with swords chopping people in half. You gotta be robots. Yeah, just that element that it feels very simplistic, and I guess maybe a little bit more flippant when I'm talking about it, because it's like, this is all a joke. Like at the end of the day, nothing feels as serious as every other Gundam thing that we watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with like we're angry at Gundam Seed Destiny because the characters just sit around and don't do the thing that they need to do. They're still discussing the political ramifications and what it means to do the right thing. Whereas Hero is just like, no. In fact, no, there's still no discussion. Hero isn't like anything. I made a mistake. I killed your dad. Here's a gun.
Kill me.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tro is like, that's just step one of being a hero.
But it's like she does call him out, like, you're being a coward, right? You don't want to kill yourself to admit that you made a mistake. You want me to kill you because that's how you feel it's going to be
Is that
even.
depth, though? Or is that just a character saying what's going on? Which is
that's kind of
the
problem.
absence of the depth that I'm talking about, or we're talking about. Which is to say, oh, Hero's not going to say what's going on. A character has to, though.
Because another character would try to. He doesn't even give a counter. It's like, no, that's who I am. That's all I know. He doesn't go like, no, I'm trying to make this right. I'm like, no, I'm just. This is the only way I can think of making this, going forward. So we're gonna do it. That's it. He doesn't say, well, no, I'm not being a coward. Actually, putting myself in the hands of the people that I've harmed, because that's, I believe that's fair justice. And if you're not going to do it, that's entirely up to you. I'm giving the opportunity to, do things right and blah, blah. I mean, he doesn't even make the counter argument. In Destiny, they would have made the counter argument to a point. Like, no, that's not what I mean. This is what I mean. It's like, oh, you're still being a coward because at the end of the day, you want to, you don't want to face the fact that you did it, and you want to put the justice in someone else instead of doing the right thing to yourself, kill yourself, or make amends or whatever, right? You would have that discussion. Here's like, you're a coward. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not. This is who I am. That's it, right?
Also, in the greater narrative, Oz is establishing itself across the world. We're seeing them taking out Earth Alliance bases, the remnants, as it were. And Troa has nothing better to do. You just drive Hero around from site to site, and I'm going to hand people guns as I apologize. Yeah. And, Troa tried to kill himself, like last episode, right? Yeah. But why also? He didn't get the message to kill himself like Hero did. And also, again, Oz is establishing itself all over the place. Do you not have a job to do? Because you did one. We didn't get
the threat of them destroying the colonies is still there.
Yeah, yes. That's probably what motivated him from shooting down the carrier that was carrying fuel. But he didn't get any other missions. We never saw him get a mission that said, "Hey, go destroy that carrier that's carrying fuel." So assumably he did that on his own, and he would have been
final mission
killing himself on his own too.
And I don't know I do not want to presume that there's a greater depth here when the show has never shown us greater depth here in the first place. They literally say what's going to happen and why they're doing it, right? So any questions that arise, I guess we just have to wait till somebody will say, yeah, by the way, this is happening. Okay. Either it's just pure impulse or someone will explain it.
There is establishing depth, though. Everything has the possibility of depth until it happens, I think is the rule of Wing. Which is to say that Treize has established that I need Oz to be hated. Treize has established he's got some sort of plans for Oz and Romefeller, in that he's manipulating the people at Romefeller. Romefeller itself is establishing that it has plans for Oz. We're establishing that Oz has plans for the colonies with this Troa revelation. So there is depth that could happen. So we're establishing that depth is possible. It's just that when we tend to get there, there is no depth to the thing that's being established. So there is this gray area between what the future holds and what we get there.
Nothing more to say, basically.
All right, then. Once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?